Hi, and welcome to Chapter 2. And in Chapter 2, what we're going to be doing is thinking like an economist. And so I often talk a little bit about that economists think about all of the headlines like a domino effect. Everything affects everything else. You've heard of the butterfly effect. Economists really do use that kind of logic and ideology. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. So in Chapter 2, what we're going to do in this first objective is to talk about how economists apply methods of science, particularly the functions that they might fulfill, and also when they act as a scientist, which is really what our role as students of economics is going to be, and also when they act as policy advisors. Okay, so the economist as a scientist, okay? So economics is a social science. We often term it the dismal science, but it is in fact a science, okay? So we devise theories and hypotheses. We collect the data and then we analyze our hypotheses. And we either say, yes, that's true, or we say, no, it's not. So we definitely use the steps of the scientific method. Again, it's an observation, it's theory. Sometimes it's very difficult to conduct experiments in economics because it's very difficult to control for mitigating or variables which are only true at that particular point in time. So sometimes our experiments lack reliability, meaning that we don't get the same results over time, and sometimes it lacks validity. This is true of many of the social sciences, so it's often impractical to talk about, well, what would have happened if the economic stimulus package was not passed in the light of the coronavirus? So what we do are lab experiments, and we try to really pay attention to historical references, what was happening and in the world at this particular point in time. So I absolutely love this little minute 56 YouTube video where Dr. Chahata was asked, is economics a science? And I kind of like how he compares and contrasts it to historical scientific methodologies. So if you want, take 2 minutes out of your schedule and just click on that, and you'll go ahead and hear Dr. Chahata talking about if economics is a science, which we like to say that it is. Okay, that's it for this learning objective. It was a really short one. Some of the learning objectives in this particular chapter are a little bit longer than this one. What we're going to do in the next section is start to talk about models and modeling and why we use them. And then we're going to look at two specific models, the circular flow of the economy, which is the backbone of a macroeconomics course, and then the production possibilities frontier. At this point, what I want to do is to make sure that you understand that Chapter 3 is very difficult for students. We start it in Chapter 2, and then we complete it in Chapter 3. And what we're trying to do is to illustrate the principle that trade makes everyone better off. It is a difficult concept, and I want you to be patient with yourself. And if you have to watch videos a couple of times, that's not uncommon, so you're not alone. I look forward to seeing you for the next objective.